Hello students, for today's lesson we are going to talk about the functions of communication. And we are now in lesson 6 and at the third week of our class. And these are the things that you are going to learn from this lesson. First is we are going to answer what are the functions of communication and what are the purposes of the speaker when communicating. We all know that communication is everywhere, and knowing the function and purpose of communication may be a big help in trying to figure out how to say things appropriately. And every time we speak, we always have a purpose why we are saying that. And for today, we are going to learn the different functions of communication. So first we have here is regulation or control. And for our examples, we have the school rules and policies. School rules and policies are given by the heads like the advisors, the principals, and the directors. The director may give policies to the teachers as to what should be done while they are in the school or doing their task in the school. And the teachers or the advisors will give classroom policies as well. That is to keep things in order, to keep the students also in proper manner while they are in the classroom. Also, we have the laws of the country. Just try to imagine a country without laws. For sure, it is going to be unorganized and a lot of crimes will happen if there will be no regulation or control. Next is to provide information. Communication provides data and information for effective completion of tasks. Of course, like when I'm giving you an assignment, you are asking for information and I am giving you the information for you to be able to complete the task. Next is solution to problems. When we are doing our research works, we provide solutions to problems, and that is a form of communication wherein we are providing information to solve a certain problem. And next is elimination of uncertainty. Sometimes we are at doubt, or sometimes we are uncertain of something, and we ask a person if something is true so that our minds will be cleared of any doubt that we have in our minds. In providing information, we have three types of flow. First is the downward flow, that is from the superiors to the subordinates. Second is the upward flow from the subordinates to the superior, and the horizontal flow. This is a peer-to-peer communication. These are the examples. In the downward flow, we can see that the teacher is talking to a student. It looks like he is giving instruction to the student, or maybe he is reprimanding him. Next is the upward flow. We can see here the three people who are seated are the employees, and the one in blue long sleeves, this is the boss. Okay, so you can see that the three people are reporting to their boss or giving him an update regarding the work that they have been doing. So that is the example of the upward flow from the subordinates to the superior. Next one, we have the horizontal flow. This is a peer-to-peer communication. And as we can see in the example, these are friends or colleagues talking to each other. Now we are on the third function of communication, that is to motivate. First is communication fosters motivation. If we have a friend and we have a problem, we talk to them and we ask them to motivate us, to help us not give up on a certain problem. Second is communication helps us set specific goals. Sometimes it is a self-talk. We talk to ourselves, we communicate to ourselves, and decide on many things about certain plans that we have in mind for us to be successful in life. Third is it increases productivity. Just like what I said, especially in self-talk, we'd like to assess ourselves if we are doing the right thing, if we are still on track. And sometimes we ask people to assess us or to give us advice on how to be more productive. Sometimes we watch how-to videos and how to do things more effectively. That is increasing productivity. Next is communication empowers individuals. As you can see here in our picture, this is a speaker and imparting information to the people in a form of motivation. Sometimes when we go to church, we are empowered by the preaching. We can learn messages from God that He never leaves our side, that whatever might happen, still it is His will. And with those kinds of messages, we are empowered and we don't easily give up because our faith has been strengthened by the words that we have heard. So that is the third function of communication, which is to motivate. The fourth function is to facilitate emotional expression. In the example we have here, it says that communication makes possible the unloading of emotions, resulting in catharsis. Catharsis is like you are a new person again after you have unloaded the baggage. Here in the example, in the picture, you can see a friend confessing to her friend about a problem. Sometimes we have a lot of problems or guilt feelings that we need to unload them for us to feel lighter again, for us to be focused in life. Because the more we bear those emotional baggages, we cannot focus in life. And that is what it means when we are unloading or unpacking our emotional baggage or to facilitate emotional expression. Sometimes we do it at Facebook, sometimes at Twitter, or sometimes to ourselves. We're just letting it out for us to feel lighter again. And the fifth one is to affect social interaction. This is very rampant or very useful, or this is what we usually do when we communicate. That is, of course, to interact with other people. In the first sentence, it says that communication facilitates social closeness to establish, maintain, and enjoy relationships with others. We are social beings, and relationships will not work if there will be no communication. Without communication, it will be a miscommunication. That's why it's very important. If you have relationships, you should communicate frequently. Whatever it is, even though it is a problem, you really have to communicate about it. Second is, according to Lombrado 2015, he said that communication fulfills our ego need for pride and self-esteem and our social needs, the need to belong and to be accepted, especially by our significant others. This is very true. Like when you are in a room full of people and you can see that all of them are talking to each other and you are left alone, it feels as if you don't belong. It doesn't feel good. It seems like you're not a human at all. Can they see you? It seems like you are invisible. So when people are talking to us, we feel as if we are important or they value us or, well, that's it. Oh, we have our ego need to provide for pride and self-esteem so that we will know that we have value to other people. That is if people are communicating with us. When they are listening to our ideas and opinion, it feels like we are of value to them. Okay? Murphy 2014 mentioned that social closeness and engagement is one of the most important purposes of human communication. social closeness, and engagement. That is the very reason why God has given us this particular gift to communicate. Unlike the animals, they don't have the language. They only do nonverbal communications. Unlike humans, we can learn different languages so that we can establish social closeness and engagement. Even though we have different languages, but we have the capacity to learn their language. So these are the 5 categories of social interaction according to Goffman. First is exchange. Sometimes we communicate because there has to be an exchange. Like when we go to a store, we communicate because we want something from that person, and that is the product. And the seller also would need something from us, that is the money that we are going to give him for in return for the product that they are selling. So that is exchange for reward. Next is competition. It seems like it's debate. Two people fight for a goal and only one can win. So in a debate, we communicate with a person, or sometimes it's somewhat a conflict, but there are good debates or arguments wherein we communicate to make our points clear, or to tell that person that we are on the right side, or what we believe is the right thing and what he believes is not right. So that is competition. We would like to convince others that we are correct. We always see competition on Facebook. Like when a person posts something and a person would comment, and that comment would receive an argument, that is competition regarding who is saying the right thing. Third is cooperation. This is very nice, or very worth appreciating when we use communication to cooperate. People work together to realize a common goal. I hope this will happen in the whole world, wherein we communicate because we have a common goal. Instead of competition, we are supporting each other for us to realize the goal that we have. Number four, four is conflict. This is a strong disagreement between people resulting in conflict. Okay, an example that I've given, like when we are posting something on Facebook, a small competition would result in conflict, and that would result to disagreement between people, and relationships will be ruined. I hope this is not going to happen when we are using communication. I hope it is more of cooperation than competition and conflict. Number five we have is coercion. This is making someone do something by using threats, and this is not good, but this is happening. When we are convincing someone to do something, even though that person doesn't want to do what we are asking them to do, that is coercion. Well, that is another function of communication which should be lessened. We shouldn't use people. Well, it's said that when we are asking a person to do something, they need to be paid, or as what the verse said, the laborer is worthy of his hire. So that is the first example we have, the exchange. Okay, so those are the 5 categories of social interaction. We communicate to exchange, we communicate to compete, we communicate to cooperate, we communicate and it would result to conflict, and we communicate to coerce or to convince someone to do what we want them to do. So let us try to see whether you have understood the lesson. In this evaluation, I would like you to tell me the functions of communication. Number 1, a teacher imposes English-only policy in her class. What function of communication is it out of the 5? Second, A man confessing his shortcomings to the priest. Remember the term catharsis? Third, a girl's day out during rest day. Number 4, a student asking for the link in Google Classroom. And fifth one, a teacher reminding the students that tough times never last. Only tough people do. Now let us check your understanding. Try to identify who controls the conversation. I want you to read each situation and then explain why you think that that person is the one who controls the conversation. The doctor and the patient in a clinic or hospital. Who do you think it is and why? Second, boss and employee in an office. Driver and passenger inside a public utility van. Who do you think controls the conversation? Fourth, mother and child at home. There is no one correct answer. As long as you are able to explain it or to defend your argument, you are correct. These are our following activities that we will have for the future weeks. I would like you to watch and listen to sample oral communication activities, and you evaluate the effectiveness of an oral communication activity. And I'm going to upload it in our Google Classroom. And for your writing activity, you're going to write a 250-word essay on the observation and evaluation of the various speakers watched and listened to. So that is the end of our lesson. I hope you have learned a lot from the functions of communication. And it is not enough for you to learn it, but it is better if you're going to apply it. See you in our next lesson. Thank you for listening.